All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our parent meeting for our spring soccer season 2024. We're looking forward to a great season this year. Fixing to kind of cover some details, different things that would be important to know in regards to our parent meeting for this year. Some things might vary depending on the time of watching this video. It should be posted late Tuesday afternoon. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. That way we can be respectful of your time and pray. We'll get into it. Father, I just pray that you would just guide direct each of these young athletes as we just get ready to partake in the sport of soccer. Pray that you would allow everybody to have a safe time, allow everybody to have an enjoyable time, and also just allow us all to learn more about the game, about you, and Lord, just work in a team building game that we would continue to develop our skills on and off the field. Lord, I thank you and praise you, and I just ask all these things in Jesus' name. All right. Well, before we go into soccer itself, something I hadn't really ever taken the time to do in a parent meeting, but I wanted to do this year is kind of share a little bit about the why and the why's mission, the why's vision, and kind of what the why as an organization intends to do through programs such as youth soccer. So the YMCA, our mission is to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build healthy mind, spirit, and body for all. And so in that, a verse that we really take to heart, specifically for our soccer program, and I'm reading out of the Bible, and this is Proverbs 22:6. It says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, even when he is old, he will not depart from it." And that verse that really encapsulates what our goal is through the sports. Yes, we are here to learn soccer. Our goal as a sports organization is that each child will progress from where they are from the start of the season throughout the season. And not only will they progress, they will have an enjoyable time doing it. I know that there's some players that this is your 10th time participating in a soccer season, and then also know that there's some players that this might be your first. And so our goal is to incorporate that for everybody, be a program that does challenge the more skilled players, but also allows newer players to be exposed to the sport for the first time and have a good time. So kind of with that, like I said a second ago, my name is Seth. I'm the sports director. You will probably see me up at the fields, bouncing around from field to field. If you ever have a question or something, feel free to try and stop me if you can in between the bouncing around. But I'm always around to answer questions, whatever that might be. So, anyways, I'm looking forward to getting to meet all of you. But we will jump into the important information for the season. So, our sports fields. I'm going to try and share the screen real quick. That way you can kind of see what I'm seeing. All right. So what is up on the screen is our sports fields. The address for that is 1823 Westover Road. That is the address of our sports fields. And up on the screen is kind of an overview, a template of what our sports fields look like. So you've got field 1 and 2 are soccer, 3 and 4 are soccer, 5 and 6 are soccer, and then over here you've got field 7, 8, 9, and 10 are t-ball, and then fields 11 and 12 are soccer. I think there's a good chance that field 11 and 12 will be combined into one field, but for right now we went ahead and left them in two. We've got parking lot 1, parking lot 2, parking lot 3, and we've got our entrances are over there. So just a couple notes. If you would, in parking for the season, please make sure to park in the closest spot next to the vehicle as you can, just so that way people are able to park as close as possible. I know a lot of times parking fills up, and so we just ask that everybody parks respectfully. If you have a trailer or something, if you wouldn't mind parking, I know it's not on this screen, but over off of parking lot 3 is a pecan orchard. If you would park over there just to allow room for everybody else to park in parking lot 1, 2, and 3. That is what it will look like. For our 3 to 4, 5 to 6, and 7 to 8-year-olds, you are primarily going to be on field 1, 2, and 5. I think we are going to have the 7, 8-year-olds will either be on those fields. might be on some field 6 or field 11, but that will be on your schedule. Our 9 to 10 and 11 to 12-year-olds will be on 3, 4, and 6, also maybe a little field 11. And then our 13 to 14-year-olds will either be field 11 or field 6. All of this will be on your schedule. We'll have our schedules hopefully on our website by Monday. If not on Monday, we'll have it up at the concession stand at our first practice next Tuesday, which leads into practices. So next Tuesday, March 19th, will be our first practice. Practice times: 3 to 4-year-olds are going to be at 5:15. 5 to 6-year-olds and 9 to 10-year-olds will be at 6 p.m. 7 to 8-year-olds and 11 to 12-year-olds will be at 7 p.m. And then right now, our 13 to 14-year-olds are also at 6 p.m. So that's all of our times for all of our leagues. If you have to, you can just kind of rewind it and rewatch that for the times for the leagues. Our first game will be Tuesday, April the 9th. Tuesday, April the 9th will be our first game. And then our last game will be May the 2nd. Now, what I'm fixing to say pertains only 7 and older. So if you have a child that's 3 to 4, 5 to 6, you do not have to worry about this. But we are going to have an end of the season tournament May the 4th. May the 4th, that will be our end of the season tournament for our 7 and older age groups. So throughout the season, we'll be basically playing for seeding in that tournament. And then at that tournament is where we will basically determine who our first place team is and so on. So just so everybody is aware, go ahead and mark your calendars for those dates. If you need to, just once again rewind it for those information. All right. Moving on into the first practice. So you may ask the question, what do I need for the first practice? So some things that you will need. 1, you will need cleats. 2, you will need shin guards. And 3, this is an optional one, but if you have a soccer ball, you're more than welcome to bring the soccer ball for this year. So those are a few of the things that we have going on right now. Stop sharing that. There we go. So that's what we're looking at currently as far as for equipment needed. The YMCA will provide the shirt. And then also, if you would have your child wear just black shorts, really important on the picture day, that they wear the black shorts just so that way everybody is looking uniform when we were taking the picture. Also, I stopped sharing the screen a little bit too early. I want to show you where the pictures will be on picture day. So down here in the bottom, you can see the airnasium is where we will have our pictures. So anyways, just wanted to share that. That way you will know we'll have it. We got our pickleball courts over here. It will be in the section of the pickleball courts that is not painted. So if you would make sure nobody goes on to the other side, I think there will probably be some people playing pickleball whenever we are taking pictures. So we're going to try and be respectful and stay on the side that the pictures will be taken. So we got that, and we're looking forward to that. And so just some other things as far as with equipment. One important thing, as I mentioned, the YMCA will provide the uniforms. However, one thing we ask is at practice next Tuesday, that is Tuesday the 19th, if you would please make sure to check with your coach that all of the information is correct on the roster. So that will be the shirt size, as well as your contact information, everybody's name is spelled correctly, and everything like that. Just please make sure, especially that shirt size. And then also, if you have ordered an extra shirt, if it is not on the roster, it will not be ordered. And so if it's not on there, please get with the coach, get with myself. That way we can see what the case was, because there's sometimes the parents will circle it and it might not have been charged to the account. And if it was not charged, it will not be on there. And there's some cases where it might have been charged, just if it was different than through the system specific, like if somebody has to go back and add a shirt, then once again, that will not be on there. So please make sure to check for all of those things at that first practice. As far as teams, currently we have not divided teams as of the recording of this. Registration is still open, so people are still registering to play. But what we will do is kind of once registration closes, we look at what we've got, and then we see how many coaches we have. I've kind of been monitoring the coaches, and currently we are still looking for some coaches. So if you are interested in coaching, please let me know. You can just email me, Seth@tiftareaymca.org. Just email me there, get in touch with me. And that way I can get you the needed stuff. And also just kind of go through, since we've already had our parent meeting, our coaches meeting, excuse me, we can just go through some different tips, different things, different instructional guidelines that we always try and train our coaches, so that way they're prepared going into the first practice. So if that is you, that you might be a parent that has watched for a few years and is like, I've always enjoyed kind of watching the games, and I'd love to participate in helping coach my child's team. You do not have to have coaching experience to coach, especially in the 3 to 4 and 5 to 6 year olds, which is one of the main areas that we are needing some coaches right now. And so if you're in that age group and you're like, hey, I'm willing to volunteer 2-3 hours a week just to go out and help coach, please email me. That way I can get in touch with you, and we can get all of that working around. Even if there's a group of parents that want to coach together, we're more than happy to always have that. So some other important information that I always encourage everybody for is two things. One, our weather hotline. I encourage all parents to put this into their phone, just so that way anytime they call it, you can just put it on the YMCA Sports Hotline. That number is 229-528-9109. Once again, 229-528-9109. Just put that into your phone number, and in the event that there's ever a day where you feel like, or questioning, wondering if we're going to have practice or not, you can just call that number, and it will basically let you know the most recent update as far as what's going on there. Generally, our goal is to try and make the call 30 to 45 minutes before the game. I know some parents are traveling from a little distance, so we do try our best to make the call as early as possible, but we also try and wait as close to practice as possible, just as a lot of times practices or weather changes on the minute. So we try and make as informed a call as we possibly can, and we try to give as much time advanced as possible, but also know that we try and wait just to make sure that when the call is made, it is the right call. Sometimes even waiting that long, it's not going to be the right call, but we always try to do that. And the last thing on that side of things, let me share the screen one more time with you, is going to be over here with our Y game time. So as you see on the screen right now, Y game time is a way that we use to send alerts to all of our people. And so I'm going to back out here a little bit. So you just type in Y game time. YGameTime.com is where you're going. In here, normally it's going to show this. Just type in your zip code or branch name. For some reason, it will not work with our zip code. And so you just have to type in Tift area. You will hit enter. It is going to pull up Tift area YMCA. Once you select on that, it will bring you here to where you can then sign up, choose a program. You can just do the program as a whole if you have children in several groups. I always try and encourage people to do the program as a whole. And then if you want to try and go back into and do a specific age group as well, that will be great. So you can do those two things. That way you get reminders anytime we have groups and things like that. All right. Now, we've already covered some of these dates here. This is our information sheet that you will be seeing. So just some different updates with some of these things. So evaluations as of the posting of this video are tonight for our 7 to 8 year olds and 11 to 12-year-old girls. Trying something new this year. So we're having our 7-year-olds are at 5:15. Our 8-year-olds are at 6:15, and then 11 to 12-year-old girls are at 7:15. Trying to do that way it can break some of the groups apart, and that way we can try and get everybody through in as quick a time as possible. In the event that if you're not able to make one of those times, just email me, and I will get back with you on that. So those are some important things that we have going on with those things. With the 9 to 10-year-olds and 11 to 12-year-olds, those are going to be March the 14th, Thursday. We will have the 9-year-olds at 5:15, 10-year-olds at 6:15, and then the 11, 12-year-old boys at 7:15. If you don't have an information sheet, it's on our website. Also, you can pick one up at the front desk. I always encourage parents to hold on to this just because it has a lot of valuable information regarding practice times, regarding season start dates, different things like that. Also, for future reference, if you struggle to find the parent meeting or you've wondered what are the parent meeting, that's where we kind of post the information. Parent meeting will be recorded and posted on our Tift Area YMCA YouTube page, which if you're watching this video, you were able to navigate there in some way, shape, or form, but that is where those things will be found. All right, kind of wrapping things up here. Just the last few little updates. So we do have concession stands that will be open during practices as well as during games. During the games, we will have hamburgers and hot dogs as well for sale up at the concession stand that you can purchase. We'll have drinks, candy, chips, different things like that available at the concession stand. And then two last things. So one, if you are interested in sponsoring your child's team, we do still have several teams that are not sponsored. So if that is something that you are interested in doing or have done in the past, just maybe we've not been able to touch bases, feel free to reach out to me, email me. Once again, at the Seth@TiftAreaYMCA.org email, and I will get you the information needed to sponsor teams. We're trying to get all of our sponsors in this week. That way we can go ahead and have the schedules ready by first practice of next week. And then lastly, now this is one I want to say is very important, especially going off of the mission and goal of the YMCA, and that is both player and parent conduct. If anybody ever has questions on the rules, I have a copy. I forgot to link it up where I could show the copy on parent meeting, but I do want to just kind of cover some important things as far as with rules, expectations, and things like that for parents and players. And so this is one of the things we were talking about in our coaches meeting, is as an organization, communicating clearly what our expectations are for both our parents and players. So being a recreational league that wants to be very competitive, but also is striving to put a Christ-like attitude into everything, we ask that all of our parents and players be respectful of both coaches as well as referees and other team players. So those are the different things that we ask that everybody is respectful of, just from the sense of, I know that it's competitive. I'm a very competitive person, and a lot of times in the heat of the moment, emotions are going and you're in the game. But one thing I do ask is just please be respectful of what is said, what is done, and just know that there are a lot of young eyes watching, both ones on the field and young children off the field, and they will do what they see in their parents. And so my challenge for each of the parents, each of the players is to demonstrate an attitude that is, one, yes, competitive, but also understanding that while we're going to be competitive, we're going to do it in a way that lifts others up rather than tears others down. And so that's one thing that I did want to make sure to mention in regards to just player conduct, parent conduct. In the event that there is kind of a reoccurring issue with that, there is a chance that we might have to ask you to leave the facility. That's not my goal, and that's not what I want to have happen at all. But I do want to just kind of communicate that clearly to all of our parents. before the start of the season. That way, as we go throughout the season, we were all on the same page with that. Also, one other thing that I was remembered in saying that is the fields are a pet-free zone. Um, I know in a lot of cases, I've heard it said many times, well, my pet will not bite anybody or do anything or whatnot. And although that might be true, there's really no telling. And some people are not comfortable around animals. And so once again, we just ask that if you wouldn't mind, please leaving all the pets at the house, just so that way we have a pet-free zone. I know in a lot of cases as well, pets have to use the restroom, and sometimes using the restroom on the fields that we have children playing on is not what we desire to have for the season. So those are some things I wanted to communicate. If you have any further questions, anything I was unclear about, please feel free to reach out to me. Once again, that email is seth@tiffcareyymca.org, or just catch me on one of the fields, kind of bounce around. And I would love to talk with you, whatever way that might be. But that is all for our parent meeting. If you have a child that is at evaluations, we will see you there. And if your child is in the younger age groups, we will see you next Tuesday. Thanks and God bless.